Hello and welcome to Today in African History for the 28th of July. Welcome to our brand spanking new channel if you are here for the first time. So this is our 28th video. We launched on the 1st of July 2023 and we hope to be churning out content every single day until the 30th of June 2024. So stay with us as we delve into our history as Africans, our ancient history, our contemporary history, our current history, as well those who have shaped the continent of Africa to what it is today, and those who we know in the future are likely to shape the way the continent goes, obviously in a positive way. We are also here to learn about our negative history as well. How can we avert history from repeating itself? So the negative history that we've had over the past, like bad leadership, for instance, is one of the bane of our continent as Africans. We've had rulers who have just remained in power, who haven't contributed positively to a lot of nations in Africa. You know, they get into power and they do not want to get from power. Stories of rigged elections, stories of violence. We want to stop all that. You know, all the negative histories we've had over the last few decades. We want to look for ways to stop those negative histories from repeating themselves and forge a way forward for Africa and Africans as a whole. We are the youngest continent, the most vibrant, most hardworking. You know, there are a lot of things that we still need to sort out. Our timekeeping, for instance, is one of the issues that we have as Africans. But we need to try and move with the times and take our place in the committee of nations. Now, this lady who is pictured here, you may recognize her face. If you're probably less than 25 years old, you probably don't know who this lady is. All will be revealed before the end of the video. Those of you who are returning, thanks for dropping by once again. If you haven't subscribed, do us a favor, click the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so that you are notified whenever we upload a video. Do not forget to like the video as well and share the video with your family and friends, like-minded people. Okay, let's get cracking with events that have shaped our collective history as Africans. On this day, this man here, whose name is Charles Chukwuma Soludo, CFR. CFR simply stands for Commander of the Federal Republic, was born. The year was 1960. He is a Nigerian economics professor and the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. He is currently the governor of Anambra State of Nigeria. Anambra State is located in southeastern Nigeria. He is a former governor and chairman of the board of directors of the Central Bank of Nigeria. He also was appointed as the bank's governor on the 29th of May 2004 until 2009. Governor Soludo is a member of the British Department for International Departments International Advisory Group, as well as a former member of former President Buhari's Presidential Economics Advisory Committee. He became governor of Anambra State in March 2022. So happy birthday, Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, born on this day in 1960. Next is SamuelTetteh, born on this day in 1996. Is a Ghanaian footballer who plays as a forward for Turkish club Bandırmaspor on loan from Adanaspor. Tetteh started playing for the West African Football Academy in 2014. He played in the 2016 season, which he scored 5 goals in 13 matches and was labelled as one of the rising stars in the Ghana Premier League and scoring against Ashanti Kotoko SC in his debut match. He started attracting scouts and teams from Europe due to his good form and being seen as a future prospect. Also on this day, the year was 2005. South Africa gets a new 5 Rand coin with distinct security features designed to outsmart counterfeiters. Around 2003 to 2004, counterfeit 5 Rand coin was circulating in South Africa. Although not an exact match of the original, the coin was convincing enough to fool many people. This prompted the Reserve Bank to redesign the coin in order to outsmart counterfeiters. On this day in 2004, South Africa had a new 5 Rand coin. The new coin was bi-metal with a silver-colored border and a bronze-colored center, as you can see here. It was also thicker and heavier than the old coin. The coin went into circulation on the 2nd of August 2004. 1914 was the year, and that is the day, July 28th, that World War I broke out. Now, at the time, just after the war, it was called the Great War. It became known as World War I when World War II broke out. The First World War represented a turning point in African history, not as dramatic as the Second World War, but nevertheless important in many areas. One of its most important legacies was the reordering of the map of Africa, roughly as it is today. Over 150,000 soldiers and carriers lost their lives during the war. Many more were wounded and disabled. By the time the war ended, every country in Africa, with the exception of the small Spanish territories, which remained neutral, had been formally committed in one side or the other. Belgian, British, French, Italian, and Portuguese colonies were allied, more or less actively, against German colonies. So that's history as it happened in Africa on this day when the Second World War broke out the First World War broke out in the year 1914. Obviously, Africa was in the grips of the so-called colonial masters. They had their territories, the English had their countries, the Dutch, the Germans, obviously, their territory was taken away, or their territories were taken away from them. The Spanish, the Portuguese, and so on, they had to conscript men from their colonies to fight for them during this great war, later known as the First World War. On this day, the year was 1988. We come back to this lady. Her name is Winnie Madikizela Mandela. So Nelson Mandela's home was destroyed on this day in 1988 in a fire that neighbors and police blamed on black students feuding with young Mandela supporters. The former South African nationalist leader's wife, Winnie, appeared shocked as she drove up to the charred shell of her brick bungalow in the black township of Soweto as a fireman salvaged some of the family belongings. Winnie Mandela has built a controversial mansion nearby with funds from overseas supporters, but has said she will not move into the residence until her husband is freed. Obviously, this was a statement that she made at the time. We know that is history now. Several witnesses, including a school teacher, said the children stoned the bungalow, battered down the garden gate, and poured gasoline from a generator through the 4 rooms, which they set on fire. For personal security, none of the witnesses wanted to be identified. Very understandable. So, sad day for the Mandela household. Winnie Mandela's home was attacked by arsonists on this day in 1988 while her husband was still incarcerated. Last but not least, this man is called Ayokunle Olatunji, or TJ Patinikun. Born on this day in 1991, he is a Nigerian-American football defensive end who is currently a free agent. Patinikun played high school football for the Perrysburg High School Yellow Jackets. He was named first team All-Conference, first team All-District, and special mention All-State. He recorded 65 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks his senior year. Fatinicum made second team All-League, recording 55 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks his junior year. In his junior year, he also led the Yellow Jackets to their first state playoff berth in school history. He totaled 73 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks as a sophomore. On that note, we end today's Today in History. Thanks for joining us once again. For those of you who've come back, if you haven't subscribed yet, support our young fledgling channel by clicking on the subscribe button and also clicking on the notification bell so that you are notified whenever we drop another video. Same for you if you're here for the first time and you like what we're sharing here. Do subscribe, turn on your notification bell as well, share the video, like the video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.